Okay, there we go. All right, good. Welcome back, everybody. I know I said it probably. It'll be before 3 o'clock. What do you want from me? Things got away. I had to let the dog out. I had to stand out there and watch her. Hi, everybody. I'm Pugs Moran. I do the High Noon Rant every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. Monday through Friday. High Noon. It's everything you need to know about the world. I give you the headlines, hot topics, current events, trends, all of it. We run through them. It's a nice little 2-hour stream of consciousness. That's a thing where I just start talking and I don't break. I don't talk to anybody. I don't have any sound effects. It's just me, you, and all the day's events. Monday through Friday, saying the quiet part out loud since 2021. The High Noon Rant here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. All right, now this is a special additional video that we're going to do here. I've been talking about this, and I mentioned how on the High Noon Show, I mentioned that a couple of weeks back, or actually Saturday, I started watching The Day After, which was a made-for-TV movie, an ABC film back in 1983, The Day After. You maybe never heard of it. Maybe you have. I don't know. I think most people in my generation, most Gen Xers know, because it's like the scariest damn movie. Every time somebody says, what's the scariest movie you ever saw? I always answer The Day After. And I'm like, oh, interesting choice. They first think I'm joking. And I'm like, I'm not joking. That was the scariest fucking movie I ever saw. The Day After. What are you kidding me? I'm a kid growing up in the 1970s. The Russians, the Soviets, they got missiles pointed at us. We got our missiles pointed at them. Who's going to flinch first? I'm 5 years old. I have no understanding of the complexities of, our position in the world. I don't know what's going on. I just know Russians, Soviets, they're bad guys, communists. We beat them in hockey. That was awesome. And school, I had this conversation with my son. I have a 14-year-old son. And I don't know how I brought it up, but in some way, shape, or form, I said to him, like, hey, man, I go, I'm really sorry. I think I was feeling guilty as a dad. I was like, man, I'm really sorry that you have to go to school during this era of, you have to have bag checks and metal detectors and all that. And I'm like, man, I just, as a grown up, you had nothing to do with this. This is just how the situation is for you when you're in school. I apologize for all us grown-ups for creating a society that did that. And he goes, oh, well, okay. Like he didn't know how to take that as well. And then I talked myself out of it. Then I said, yeah, but you know what? Let me tell you something. School shootings, yeah, they're scary. We lived in fear in 1978 in the kindergarten or first grade or whatever the hell I was. We lived in fear of being vaporized in the blink of an eye. So, yeah, I mean, I know school shootings are terrible, and we should, as adults, be ashamed for creating a society that puts our little kids through that. They got to have that anxiety. But, man, nobody ever talks about the Gen X anxiety. You want to know why Gen X were slackers? You want to know why they just completely are forgotten, even to this day, why they just do their own thing, why we just, we don't need it, we don't want your nonsense. Why? Because we were ruined as children. We're fatalists. There was no saving for the future. We didn't have these grand dreams that the baby boomers were bestowed with. We grew up with a very real understanding that the Soviet Union had ICBMs and that they could end our existence in the blink of an eye, or 20 minutes or 40 minutes, depending on what you were told as a kid. And boy, oh boy, kids today, I know that they have their active shooter drills, which is just so gross that we have to put our kids through that BS. But man, we had duck and cover drills. I mean, we had the bombs are gonna fall. I mean, now we didn't have duck and cover drills were not a thing in my schools publicly after, like, I think the first or second grade. And then they stopped making us do that. I think they figured, we might be traumatizing this entire generation of kid. Maybe we should stop, interrupting their math lesson so that we could all role play our imminent death in the next few minutes. I think maybe some teachers probably, so we didn't really have that. Catholic school we did though. Oh, the Catholic schools, they didn't give a shit. Catholic school I went to 7th grade. It seemed like that was when things were really ramping up. It seemed like we had a duck and cover drill. And even back then I knew this was from the 1950s. I'm like, why are we still, don't do this to kids. So that's what happened to Gen X. That's why we're dystopian by nature. We're fatalists, but we're fatalists because, this is what we were exposed to. The global political climate said the world is constantly on the precipice of war. So, The Day After was a movie that was made in 1983, and for some jacked up reason, I don't remember. I mean, we school kids were like forced to watch it. I mean, I have seen The Day After. I certainly saw it when it aired. I was sitting there in front of my TV. It was awesome. It was a Sunday night. But then I probably saw it 5 more times whenever my teacher was hungover and decided they wanted to show us a movie. I mean, do you understand the mental torture that was being put on children with absolutely no capacity to understand the complexities and how close we really are to nuclear war? I, for one, woke up every day wondering if today's the day I'm going to get vaporized on my way to school. That's where we were. And Gen X in the 1970s had it way worse than the boomers did in the post-war era. In the post-war 50s and 60s, that was something that they tried to scare you with every once in a while. But no, it was rock and roll and the hula hoop, and it was good times and the expansion of the middle class. And this country was never more vibrant and carefree than we were in the 1950s. So don't tell me the boomers lived in the Cold War era too. It was we, the children of the boomers, the Gen Xers, who by 1970s politics and manipulation had become so ugly, post-Watergate, whatever you want to call it, that all of a sudden that began being used as a political cudgel domestically. And we kids, we didn't understand it, but it was our understanding of the world. So I rekindled my relationship with The Day After. Wow. That thing's crazy. It's very dated. I tried to make my son watch it, and it's just very dated. The special effects and all that aren't great, and I couldn't get him. He was too distracted by how cheesy the quality was on YouTube. It's a little bit of a degenerative quality on there. It's probably uploaded to YouTube off a videotape that was recorded off another video. So the quality isn't great, but you get the point. And I was instantly brought back to that scared little kid back in 1982 or 1983. So after I watched The Day After alone, just because apparently it was just a me thing, my kid was not interested. So after I watched it alone, I fell into this crazy YouTube wing of nuclear war stuff. Like, what do we need? 3 signs we need to look for the nuclear war. Things we didn't have when I was a grade school kid. Things that, we didn't have YouTube back then. All we had was, people scaring us. All we had was endless stories of World War III is next. And that's the other thing. Our generation have been threatened with World War III since the moment we were born. And that we've brought back the talk of World War III for very real reasons, because of the situation going on with Israel in the Middle East, whether or not Iran is now going to expand that war to all on Iran versus Israel, what's happening with Russia and in the empirism, if you will, going on with Putin. I mean, the world now we've got China, and we've got all of the stuff going on in that area of the China. I mean, we are, to my now fairly well-informed view. And when I say well-informed, I mean, I read a lot of stuff. I'm certainly not a lettered man. I am not any expert on, nuclear disarmament treaties and all of those kinds of things, or troop movement around the world. That's not who I am. But I do a show every day where I have to read everything about the news, and I try and compile a list for you. So, I mean, I think more than the average guy, I might have a pretty well-balanced view of where we are in the world, and we are close. So, since we are so close to a nuclear war, and you got to wonder, this time, will it be Khrushchev and Kennedy? 2 men who very well stated. I mean, now we know we have the luxury of time and, their friends talking about them after death. But now we understand that Khrushchev and Kennedy were horrified by the idea of nuclear war. They were both, as men, were horrified. And that's how they were able to avoid it, right? But do we have those kinds of politicians now? And I'm not even saying they're more admirable or whatever. What I'm saying is that on some level, both of these men understood their role in the future of humanity and that they were on the precipice of severely altering that. They understood the gravity of what a nuclear war between two superpowers would be. I question if we have people who truly understand that, who wouldn't just like to, start a nuclear war for the Twitter clout. I'm the guy who started, like, not thinking down the road that, you're probably going to be seen if you're the first, whatever. I don't know. I worry about this current condition of the world that we find ourselves in. And I got to say, after the fall of the Soviet Union, my 20s, the Gen X slacker 20s and all that stuff, we got into grunge, and we did our thing and we got married and we got divorced. We had kids and all that stuff. And we still stayed pretty much in the shadows. And it was a nice time because we didn't wake up every morning believing that we were on the verge of sudden vaporization, but we're there again. So to that end, I wanted to show you something that I found. This is wild. Okay, so what this is, and we'll watch it together, and I don't know. I'm going to let it roll to a certain point, and then I'm going to stop it, and then we'll go back and we'll talk about, because it's 11 minutes in total. That's how long it takes the bombs to reach us and destroy us. So just bear with me, but we'll watch it, and I'll try not to ruin the mood. Here's the premise. We're watching CNN. We're just at home. We're watching CNN. They're in a commercial break. So we're sitting there. The commercials are running, and we're watching CNN in the middle of the day. I'll pick it up from there. That's how this begins. All right, folks, here we go. This is how the world ends. Let's watch.
Yeah, it's keeping up with the Jonases now.
Try to keep up, whoever you are.
Stay ahead in the all-new Tundra.
Sally sold seashells by the seashore. But her seashells didn't...
Here we go.
This is CNN Breaking News.
And we'll get right to questions. Mr. Secretary.
Well, thanks, John, and thanks to everybody.
Missiles launched from Russia.
I know you're covering the situation in Europe.
All right, so are you getting that? All right. Missiles, the CNN has now broken into their commercial block. They interrupt a Zendaya Foursquare commercial, and they go live with no introduction, no nothing, just immediately live to the Pentagon, where the Secretary of Defense is in. The headline says NORAD. According to NORAD, missiles have been launched from Russia. All right, so I'm going to let it go now for a little while, but I just wanted to do that. Here we go.
This is CNN Breaking News.
And we'll get right to questions. Mr. Secretary.
Well, thanks, John, and thanks to everybody. I'm really glad to be with you. I know you're covering the situation in Europe closely.
Oh, shit.
Normal programming has been interrupted at the request of the U.S. government. Everyone receiving this broadcast should pay close attention. The information contained...
I'll put it to you like this, okay? At this point, when we hear this woman, when suddenly, we see that headline, we see the defense secretary actually responding to that headline, looking very serious, and then he's cut off in the middle. CNN goes to technical difficulty, and then you hear this woman. Anytime you see all of a sudden USA.gov is taking over your TV, something absolutely horrible is about to happen.
Normal programming has been interrupted at the request of the U.S. government. Everyone receiving this broadcast should pay close attention. The information contained in this broadcast is vital to your safety. Please stand by.
Standing by. I ain't going anywhere.
There's a civil war all across America.
Well, there we go. America's got to make some money on this, so I do apologize, but I ain't paying YouTube. Those people are so rich. So here's a commercial for Civil War. How interesting. All right, come on. Just a couple of more seconds. I apologize, but this is how. All right, so far we saw what happened. Here we go. Oh, now this. Yeah, we got to see this. Here we go.
Please stand by.
So this is what happens when it's not a test. This is the EAS system, the emergency alert. I mean, really, could they have chosen a more unnerving sound? Is that what that's designed for, to get our attention? Here's another problem that I have with this exercise that we're going through. If this is in fact how our emergency alert system works, and I believe it is, because I did a little due diligence, and it seems like that is pretty much the standard of how it's going to look and how it's going to play out. They seem to be wasting a lot of time, right? Do we need to hear the for like 30 seconds and then be told that we've only got 10 minutes to live because the bombs are falling? My point is, there seems to be an awful lot of unnecessary procedure in letting us know that we're all going to die.
The emergency alert system has been activated. This is a national emergency. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message. Important instructions vital to your safety will follow.
Wasting time. Let's go.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. This is not a test. The United States has been subjected to a nuclear attack. The North American Aerospace Defense Command has detected the launch of 12 nuclear missiles aimed towards the mainland United States. 4 of the 12 missiles launched have been intercepted. The 8 remaining nuclear missiles will strike the following locations in the next 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, 15 to 20 minutes, but you just wasted about a good 90 seconds of our remaining life with awful, irritating noises. All right, are we following? They are letting us know, this is the government, they've taken over our TV, and they are letting us know this is not a test and that the United States has been subjected to a nuclear attack. NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, has detected 12 inbound nuclear missiles aimed towards the mainland United States. They're also letting us know that 4 of the 12 missiles that have been launched have been intercepted by our own defenses. So there's still 8 coming. The 8 remaining nuclear missiles are going to strike the following locations in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, are you ready? Who's on the list? Who is on the first strike list?
Los Angeles,
Yep.
San Diego,
Sure.
Chicago, Houston, Phoenix, New York City, Philadelphia, and Seattle.
Okay, those are the cities. Those are the cities that they're going with first. Los Angeles, I get that. San Diego seems redundant. Well, why not go Los Angeles, San Francisco? Use a big enough bomb. You could probably take all of Los Angeles and San Diego out at the same time. Chicago, that one hurts. I'm going to consider that a personal attack. Houston, that also kind of hurts. Really? Only one target? They're only concerned with one city in Texas, and they're going with Houston. As a proud citizen of Dallas, I would say, what about us? Phoenix, again, I don't know why. Where they must really hate the Super Bowl or whatever. I don't know. I don't know why Phoenix is targeted. Probably military reasons. New York City, that's a no-brainer. We get that. Philadelphia, again, seems a little redundant. Seattle, probably. You want to control that whole part, that little corner there where Canada gets involved, where Alaska, isn't close, but it seems like it's close, right? Don't you think like Alaska and Seattle are close? They're not close, but they're closer, I guess, than Alaska and, Key West, Florida. All right, so here we are. These are the first cities, and we've only got 15 minutes or something. Let's keep watching. We'll go back again.
Will strike the following locations in the next 15 to 20 minutes: Los Angeles, San Diego, Chicago, Houston, Phoenix, New York City, Philadelphia, and Seattle. Within a 300-mile radius of these areas, everyone should seek out a fallout shelter as soon as possible. Nuclear fallout is a byproduct of nuclear attacks, and prolonged exposure to it will almost certainly kill you. If a nearby area has been designated as a fallout shelter, get there right away. Otherwise, seek refuge on the lowest floor of a sturdy building's interior. Make sure you have enough food, drink, and a battery-operated radio. Wait until the all-clear has been given before leaving the fallout shelter. Do not use your telephone. The lines should be kept open in case of an emergency. Tune into a station that is serving your area for more information.
This is way too much information. First, can we back up a little bit? Seek out your fallout shelter. Well, where's that? The Soviet Union fell apart 40 years ago, 30 years ago. Well, what do you mean? We don't have those anymore. Who's got a fallout shelter? Hell, in Texas, we don't even have basements. I don't know what that's about. Secondly, I have to imagine this is fairly unexpected. I don't have like a crank-generated radio or whatever the hell it is that they want me to use. And as far as water goes, my sink's not going to work. I don't want to live in that world. And they're also at the same time basically telling you, oh, also, this is all pretty much not going to do anything. You're going to die. Don't go outside until we tell you. Okay. It's a good one. That's like the premise of the show Fallout, which I started watching last night. Also, can I just say, if I was, hired to be a consultant to the United States government on such matters, since I have been so adversely affected by the threat of nuclear war my entire life, can I just say, my first thing as a consultant would be, let's dedicate a human to actually record this or these instructions. I mean, I understand that we might have to use an AI voice when we insert the people who are the aggressors, the people where the bombs are going and where the cities that are going to be. That's fine. We can do that with an AI voice. But the rest of it, can it just be a script written by a woman? Or not written by a woman, but voiced by a woman, a nice sounding woman. Might I suggest a grandmotherly woman? Can we get Meryl Streep? Maybe can it be Meryl Streep? Can it be somebody who on some level is going to calm us? Because it seems extra impersonal. And look at me, snowflaking during end of times. Me worried about it. Just seems I want to be a human. It seems very impersonal. All right, so once again, we got some bombs that are flying. We've only got 15 minutes. This guy's making us do homework. Write everything down. Let's continue.
The president will address the nation on all radio and television stations shortly. Stand by for this message. This is a national emergency.
Oh, back to this. Oh, and now they're... Wait a second. Hold on. Wait. The timer now. What's the point of the timer? I mean, we're going to be dead in 10 minutes. Why do we need... I don't understand. Is anybody watching the timer? I don't... Emergency alert system. Nuclear strike will impact 9:50. Now, remember, it was originally 12 missiles that were sent. We intercepted 4. There are now 8 on the way. They're hitting Los Angeles. They're headed towards San Diego. They're headed towards Houston. They're headed towards New York, Philadelphia, Phoenix, Chicago. God, that one hurts. That's my hometown. All right, so those are the targets that have 9 minutes and 50 seconds before they're wiped off the face of the earth. I don't understand. Again, curious to me why they would choose Houston over Dallas, but okay, that's their choice. They can be misinformed if they want. And why no Washington, D.C.? Why isn't Washington, D.C. targeted? Unless Washington was the ones that got intercepted. Is that what they're doing? Are they being selective over which ones they're trying to stop? They know they can't stop them all, so well, I guess it is important maybe to maintain the capital for as long as possible. But, it's still, again, very impersonal. Very elitist. All right, here we go. 9 minutes and we'll go back. Here we go. Jeez. All right, different tone. Different tone can't be good. Okay. Never thought this tone would be soothing, but here we are. don't like this one.
The United States has been subjected to a nuclear attack. The North American Aerospace Defense Command has detected the launch of 12 nuclear missiles aimed towards the mainland United States. 4 of the 12 missiles launched have been intercepted. The 8 remaining nuclear missiles will strike the following locations in the next 15 to 20 minutes: Los Angeles, San Diego, Chicago, Houston.
Monday.com is the
Really?
platform
You're
that
doing
helps
this
your
to me
work
again?
move
You
smoothly.
sons of bitches.
Why? Because without Monday.com, your team...
Phoenix, New York City, Philadelphia, and Seattle. Within a 300-mile radius of these areas, everyone should seek out a fallout shelter as soon as possible. Nuclear fallout is a byproduct of nuclear attacks, and prolonged exposure to it will almost certainly kill you.
Now is probably not the time for us to be taking a crash course on the effects of nuclear fallout. Maybe we should have learned this beforehand.
If a nearby area has been designated as a fallout shelter, get there right away. Otherwise, seek refuge on the lowest floor of a sturdy building's interior. Make sure you have
What is that? Why did the interruption get interrupted? I'm wasting so much time.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. The North American Aerospace Defense Command has detected the launch of 5 additional missiles directed toward...
More missiles are incoming. We've got more. So we've got 8 that are hitting all of those cities that were mentioned there. I forgot about Philadelphia in the original list, but it's Los Angeles, San Diego, Seattle, Houston, Chicago, Philadelphia, New York. I don't know, somebody. And Phoenix is in there. Okay, so those are the cities that are already targeted. What now? We've got 5 new missiles. Where are these ones going?
Towards the United States. Defense Command has detected the launch of 5 additional missiles directed towards the United States. These missiles are considered to be armed with nuclear warheads. Predicted impact sites include
second wave. There you go, Washington.
Washington, D.C., Jacksonville, Dallas.
Oh, well, you know, I'm kind of honored as a citizen of Dallas. Kind of honored that we're finally being thought of. I'd like to think that we were in the original wave of attacks, but we were defended, and now they're getting right to us because we're important to them. Kind of feels good.
San Jose and Anchorage.
What?
The United States.
Wait, what are these?
Predicted impact sites include Washington, D.C.
Makes sense.
Jacksonville.
Makes no sense.
Dallas.
Makes sense.
San Jose and Anchorage.
The last 2. I don't get it. San Jose? Why not go after San Francisco?
The United States Space Force has begun to intercept these missiles.
Go, Space Force! Trump was right. We need Space Force. All right, wait, what's going on here with Space Force? This is cool. Hold on.
The United States Space Force has begun to intercept these missiles. These missiles have a minimal likelihood of being intercepted. This is an attack warning. I repeat, this is an attack warning. An attack warning means that a full-scale nuclear attack from Russia has been commenced against the United States and that protective action must be taken immediately. It is too late to evacuate if you...
It's too late to evacuate. Folks, you do realize, I want you to understand, you do realize that I've been watching these as I fall asleep at night. Like, this is how I'm being lulled into sleep. It's perfectly normal for me, a broken Gen Xer.
Reside in one of the cities that will be hit by the nuclear strike. Seek fallout shelter immediately. All citizens living in the mainland United States should seek a fallout shelter now. These missiles are predicted to strike the said cities in 10 to 15 minutes. The number of fatalities and the magnitude of the damage are unknown at this time.
How, is this going to be a situation where you're going to be sitting there with your Uncle Earl and your Uncle Earl's going to go, I don't believe it. I'm going to go sit out in the front yard and y'all going to, I mean, is this going to be, nobody's going to believe this shit. Nobody. You know what you got to do? You got to take down Twitter. You got to take down Twitter immediately. You get the spread of like disinformation that is not in the best interest of us, the general sheep, I mean public. You know, people are going to, although I can't at that point, what, you're going to get mad? At that point, are we going to have like a Target throwdown? What do you mean you don't believe it? You don't believe in science? You know, as the seconds tick away, to our annihilation. No, at that point, I'm just going to be like, really? All right, whatever. And just go do my own thing. Because at my best count, we're inside 9 minutes now. 9 minutes before the first wave hits. Well, not us, because I guess we're in Dallas. We got a little more time. Now they got a double countdown. It is a double countdown. Look at this. Oh, there you go, Houston. Screw you, Houston. We here in Dallas, we've got 2 full minutes more than you to live. $13 missiles.
This is an attack warning. I repeat, this is an attack warning. NORAD has detected the launch of 13 nuclear missiles from Russia. These nuclear missiles are predicted to strike the following cities: Los Angeles, San Jose, San Diego, Houston, Dallas, Jacksonville, Chicago, Phoenix, New York City, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Seattle, and Anchorage.
Let me see here. Look at this, man. These people, they don't care. You think the Russians care about red or blue? You think red state versus blue state means anything at this point? Nah. Look at this. Going after Los Angeles with the same gusto they're going after Jacksonville. They're going after Phoenix the same way they're going after New York City. Anchorage? Are you kidding me? Doesn't get any more red than Anchorage. Houston, Dallas, San Diego, Los Angeles, Philadelphia. It's crazy. And just see how silly. There are moments like this where we have to be like, red state, blue state. What the fuck are we talking about? We're all targets.
Should you reside in one of these cities, seek fallout shelter now and brace for the impact. The first wave of nuclear missiles is expected to strike in approximately 7 minutes, followed by the second wave in 9 minutes. Fallout is the most dangerous in the first few hours after the detonation.
All right, now we're going to school again.
When it is giving off the highest levels of radiation. It takes time for fallout to arrive back to ground level, often more than 15 minutes for areas outside of the immediate damage zones. This is enough time for you to be able to prevent.
Almost wish at this point in our doomed near future, I almost wish at this point they'd start getting fun with it. Like after they do this, like it takes time for fallout to arrive back to the ground level. Could they have that? Could Rob Lowe do that? And then when he's done, could there be like that rainbow, the more you know?
Significant radiation exposure by following these simple steps. Nuclear explosions can cause significant damage and casualties from
No!
blast, heat, and radiation.
They're still, even in our last moments, the government is talking to us like we're a bunch of inbred morons. Even a nuclear blast can hurt you, so you ain't gonna want to be near that. All right, thanks.
Get inside the nearest building to avoid radiation.
Ain't gonna do dick.
Go to the basement or middle of the building. Stay away from the outer walls and roof. Battery-operated and hand crank radios will function after a nuclear detonation.
Who owns a hand crank radio?
Tune into
preppers. Weird-ass preppers, that's who.
To 88.0 or 108.0 megahertz FM for official information.
88.0 or 108.0 are always the absolute. Any radio station that's in that area sucks. They're always like some weird religious station or playing some kind of opera music. Except the end of the word. Isn't that ironic? The one time we'll listen to a station on the 88 frequency is when the world is ending.
Such as when it is safe to exit and where you should go. Bright flash can result in temporary blindness lasting less than a minute.
Temporary? Yeah, okay, I guess. Should the rest of your body not be vaporized, you might resume being able to see.
Blast wave can result in death, injuries, and damage to structures up to a mile away from the blast. Radiation can cause harm to bodily.
Somebody made these fun little graphics to be used in this event. The little house that's leaning because it's being blown away by a nuclear blast.
Cells. Large exposures can cause radiation sickness. Fire and heat can result in death, burn injuries, and structural damage several miles away. Electromagnetic pulse can cause damage to electronics up to several miles away from the detonation. Fallout is...
That's one of the coolest scenes I was telling you how this whole thing started because I found the day after on YouTube. That scene brought back so many memories for me. There's the scene where Jason Robards, it seems like the war's starting. Seems like everything's about to happen. They've launched missiles. We've launched missiles. So Jason Robards is in his car and everybody's trying to flee. This takes place in Lawrence, Kansas, the day after. And he's stuck in traffic and all of a sudden his car dies. The battery dies and bing, 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 bing. That whole thing's going on. And then all the other cars die. And then off in the distance, you see this electromagnetic pulse in the sky. Like, caused all the... I didn't know that when I was a kid. I didn't know that, like, batteries and cars will stop. If there's an incoming nuclear blast, you can't just race away in your car, because apparently something happens with this electromagnetic pulse, and it's just going to fry your car's engine. You're not going to move anywhere. That's a scary scene. All right, back to this. Now back to this simulation. This is what it's going to be like when the world actually does, America gets attacked in a nuclear fight.
Is radioactive, visible dirt and debris raining down can cause sickness to those outside.
Now we're back to this. We're inside 5 minutes. No, we're not. We're outside 5 minutes. What are we doing now? What do we do? Let's just assume that our city's been named, so we don't give a shit about any other incoming missiles, and we don't really care how Miami's going to fare. What we know that Dallas and from my friends in Chicago, where I'm from, we know that those cities are being hit. It's over. Washington seems to be targeted as well. We got this on the big screen in our house, in our living room. We've got big things that say 5 minutes and 12 seconds until the first wave hits, 7 minutes and 18 seconds until. What are we doing? Are we even entertaining the thought that we're going to survive this? I mean, I'm in Highland Park, Dallas. Highland Park. They call themselves their own city, but we are completely surrounded on all four sides by the city of Dallas. We are inside. We're like the Vatican. That's how much power rich people have. They wanted their own tax base and didn't want to share it with the poor people. So this little neighborhood inside the city of Dallas, which could probably lend a whole lot to the city's tax base. Now they decided they weren't going to be. So we're here. So I'm here in Highland Park. If the bombs are targeting Dallas, I got nowhere to go. I don't know what I'm vapor. I'm going to be gone. There are no basements here. I don't have a fallout shelter because it's not 1958. So what am I doing? I got 5 minutes. You know what? Now, if you had asked me when I was 12 years old, I had a whole plan. Oh my God. And it involved some really, really dark and awful. You have to understand, I was a virgin, when I was a little kid. So when you're first thinking about this stuff, you're thinking about how am I going to get sex if the bombs are falling? And I'm not proud of it, but I know better now. But I don't have a plan now. Wait a second. I'm not saying I'd rape any, but that's not what I'm saying. I know you're probably thinking Pugs has admitted that he would rape somebody in the event. No, that is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying as a horny little kid, you think sex is going to be the first thing you're going to go for. It's like, I got to have sex with somebody. There's got to be somebody who wants to have sex in the last 5 minutes. But I don't think that's real. I don't know what I'd do. Eat something. I'd probably eat something. I'd eat something. Maybe get really drunk. Maybe take as many pills as I have. Although that's got to be. I'm absolutely sure. And I think by this point, by 5 minutes, we should be absolutely sure.
The emergency alert system will shift to radio transmission.
What?
All future alerts will be transmitted on 88.0 and 108.0 megahertz FM.
In the year 2024, I'm sure nobody knows how to find 88.0 or whatever it is. They're like, wait, what? What is that? That'd be like saying we are going to cease this manner of communication and all other information will be delivered via carrier pigeon. Nobody's gonna.
This broadcast will conclude with the playing of the national anthem.
What?
The United States government thanks you for your cooperation.
All right, dummies. One last trip around the patriotic window. Let's go. We're going to play the national anthem. We're all going to die together. We appreciate your cooperation. No way it says that in the script. There is no way. There's no way that the official United States messaging is going to lean hard into, graciousness. I can't imagine that. This is also unreal. We appreciate your cooperation. We're going to play the national anthem for you, give you a little something to go out with. Please. Let's listen to that again.
The emergency alert system will shift to radio transmission. All future alerts will be transmitted on 88.0 and 108.0 MHz FM. This broadcast will conclude with the playing of the national anthem. The United States government thanks you for your cooperation.
What? You're going to give me another? Sure. Another commercial. Capitalism. We're going to play the national anthem for us. Probably going to. There we go. Yay, mother. All right, that's going to do it. There we are. That's how the world ends, with the playing of the national anthem, and then it goes like that. Guys, I want to show you one other thing, though, if I can find it, while we're having this fun with our impending doom as we sit here dangling on the precipice of what is sure to be nuclear annihilation following the outbreak of World War III. I want to show you one other thing that I've been watching. Wasn't that fun? Wasn't that fun? Wasn't that fun? If you're Gen X like me, that is pretty much the formation of my childhood, expecting that at any minute. I want to show you another one, though. The BBC did something really cool. Let me see if I can find this one, okay? Hold on. We'll boop. Give me a second to do a little workaround on this one. Everything is working slow. So the BBC, I told you about this. The BBC did this thing recently within the last couple of years where they did a version of it where they're showing us how they would broadcast the end of civilization. So I want to find that one for you because it's a lot of that one's pretty good too. It's more it's less about the beep, 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 although we get to see what the British emergency alert system is, if you were ever wondering. I can't imagine why you would. That's kind of a weird thing. Okay. Let's see if I can find this one real quick here. Dun, 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 dun. By the way, I didn't mean to like turn off the national anthem. I just felt it was going a little long. He's anti-American. No, I'm not. Hold on. Well, you know what? I may not be able to show you this one, this BBC World War II thing or World War III start, because I don't know. It seems like my YouTube is very, very selective about what it keeps in its history. Yeah, I didn't just visit one YouTube site yesterday. Well, let me check one more thing real quick. I might be able to find it. How are you? Huh? Aren't we having fun here? This is the last day that we'll be doing shows here from the Comfort Nest Studios. We are going to be moving. There is no show. There is no high noon show tomorrow, but shows will return, I promise, on Monday from a new location. Not entirely sure where. A couple of choices. So it's not like, oh, I got to find a place. No, we got a couple of choices, a couple of places I can do it from. So we will be doing regular shows all next week as we figure out what the new studio setup is going to look like. So just bear with us. Mm-hmm. Well, this kind of sucks. It's really good. I might have to do a separate one for that. Maybe I'll do a separate one for that. Maybe we'll just end this one and I'll do another as soon as I find it, because this is a lot of bad downtime. Was that it? No. All right. Doesn't matter. All right, guys. Yeah, that's going to do it. I might come back here in like a half hour or something. I'm going to find the other one and I'll do another one if you guys want to hang out. Hey, head crack. Look at head crack. Hey, Headcrack, I am loving your TikTok stuff, your little inspiration stuff where you just, man, you're a deep cat. I really appreciate that. One of my favorite people. A great Headcrack. All right, Chuckles. Chuckles, you coming back in like a half hour? We'll do it again, but this time we'll watch how the BBC is going to broadcast an ongoing situation that devolves into certain nuclear annihilation. You're going to do that? We'll do that one more time today. Come on back. Barney, come on back. Pat, please come on back. What are you guys doing? What are you listening to? The ticket? What are you doing? Come on. This is fun. We're talking about the end of the world, and I'm rapping poetic about the anxiety that has been heaped on me as a member of Gen X from the moment I was born. All right, guys, we're done. We'll come back. I promise you, like 10, 15 minutes, we'll do another one. I just got to find it. It's just hard for me to find. All right, love you guys. Bye.